unlock the fertility market, and we ease the fertility journey for couples. So this is what we do. We built a comprehensive solution, hardware and software, to allow a woman to perform her own transvaginal scan by herself without medical guidance, and we provide physicians a robust follicular monitoring tool to increase the quality of the oocyte cohort and IVF success rate. So I'm Beatrice chemla, CEO and co-founder of IMMA. My background is in market research. I was a marketing manager in big companies, and I built my own company and have a successful exit with my consulting firm in strategy in healthcare. Nadia is an MD expert in fertility with more than 20 years in leading IVF clinics and IVF departments. She had her 2 kids with IVF, so she knows the trauma from both sides, and she knows the pain. So Hervé is a very expert engineer, system architect coming from the automotive area with more than 30 years in leading R&D team at the international level. We have a very strong advisory board, key opinion leaders in IVF, radiologists and clinicians that will help us to accelerate the market penetration, coming from the US, Canada, and Europe, and very high-level ultrasound guy leading on Instrom Labs, and expert people in economics. So IMMA means mother in Hebrew. That gives you an idea of our mission. We want to help people to build their family. But for 1 in 6 people, 15% of people worldwide, they need medical help to conceive, and it's just the beginning because we are living a very huge fertility crisis, and it could be 50% in a few years. So this is what you face when you have to go through medical fertility, transvaginal scans, and injections. So this is the difficulty of the IVF journey, which starts with ovarian stimulation for a woman. So she has to inject by herself hormones every day to stimulate the ovaries to have more follicles. And the physician needs to monitor this follicular growth with transvaginal scan. But no one can go every day to a clinic for transvaginal scans. So you have only 3 to 5 scans per cycle, which leads to a suboptimal quality of eggs, because the physician can't monitor very closely the hormone dosage every day to precisely determine the trigger injection timing and oocyte pickup, so at the end of the day, you don't have the right maturation of oocytes. So this is what we want to change at IMMA. And of course, you have to think about the dropout rate, which is very high. 50% of women just abandon the process. So why transvaginal scan is a key pain point? Very simply because to have a transvaginal scan, you need to be physically present at the clinic. So for women, it's a waste of time and anxiety. And for IVF clinics as well, it's a bottleneck in every clinic in the morning from 6 to 11. And then it's a suboptimal process. And of course, it leads to a suboptimal monitoring and suboptimal quality of eggs. So this is the IMMA system. Very unique on the hardware part, because a woman can do it by herself without medical guidance, which doesn't exist. And secondly, this very powerful monitoring tool, because we standardize the scan, not easy for transvaginal scan. And then we are able to compare the scans every day, and then we provide this very robust individual follicular monitoring tool. So where we are, we already have a prototype in vivo tested with a positive clinical result in women. These images were acquired by women for the first time. They were able to perform their own transvaginal scan by themselves. And we were able to scan the full volume of the pelvis, which allows us to be able to work beyond IVF later on. We have 3 patent families on the robotic system with a rotative probe and robotic system to manage and to control this scanning, and 2 patent in writing for this year. So these are all the benefits of the IMMA system. Of course, we improve patient experience. Of course, we increase number of patients for clinics because it's remote care. We allow them to reach more patients. We allow the real IVF digital journey, because if you decrease this in-office visit during the ovarian stimulation, then everything can be done remotely. So we allow this new trend of IVF clinics from home. We expand clinic capacity because we allow clinics to treat more patients with same resources. And we improve, of course, all site quality with this very close monitoring. So we increase the quality and the IVF success rate. So B2B business model, it's a B2B model. We sell to IVF clinic with two flow of money. One is the leasing part for the ultrasound equipment. Second is a recurring revenue with a SaaS model, pay per cycle, because of course we want to offer clinics to perform as many scans as they need, and consumables, because the woman will have some consumables and some personalization on the system, which is as well very unique. We are no change in the flow of money. We increase the gross margin for IVF clinics because we allow them to treat more patients at lower cost. And of course, we offer more view with less cost, so see more, pay less. So for example, for a CCOM clinic in the US, in New York, they manage 3,000 cycles per year, and they have 6 ultrasound rooms. If they can free only 1 ultrasound room, they could be able to manage 500 cycles in addition, which is a dramatic additional revenue of 10 million. So we have, as a result, we have strong traction from IVF clinics. We have already pre-orders with LOI of 900 IMMA box, which the equivalent of 33 million of revenue secured over 5 years. And we have LOI from distributors, from stakeholders, strategic stakeholders like pharma companies and distributors. We have raised 1 million. We have from family office, very expert in high tech, and a woman ex-VP of Hologic, so a very good validation of market. And we just received the Seal of Excellence from the EIC, very selective process. So we raised 5 million for the version 1 of the product in 18 months with 510K to reach focus launch in the US. So it's a very important step that will give a strong value uplift for the company. With only 5 million, we have in 18 months a version 1. In a market of 2 billion nowadays, which will be 4 billion in 2042, with very positive clinical results already done, more mass market usages on women's health, and of course, LOI from future clients and future acquirers. So these are all the many use cases beyond IVF, because endometriosis and other indication, ultimately pelvic cancer, non-touch pelvic exam, and mass market like natural fertility and contraception, because if you think to medical fertility, you can think to natural fertility and contraception. So this is IMMA, one home scan at a time. Join us in this great revolution for women's health and pelvic health. Thank you.